What's happening, everybody?
Whoa! What is with my image?
It's like all off center. Well, you think I would have checked that, eh? What's going on, Beep Chirp? Let's see if I can fix my camera. What did I do? Whoa. Yeah, this is all jacked up. Why is it? It's like way off. No. Oh boy. Oh boy. Not that one. This one. It's weird. It's like it's cropping my picture even. Let's see if I can't fix. No, can't fix that. I have no idea what is going on here. Alrighty, well, I guess I'll live with that. Yoink. Whoa, Beep Chirp. Jeez. Just right into it, huh? No, like, hey, how's it going? How's the week been? No small talk, huh? Just right to work. So I think on Tuesday I mentioned I had a couple of issues with the new P100 firmware. I mentioned the first. The second was less important, but still annoying. Sending the power off signal via the remote control. Yes, I know it doesn't actually power it off. Does exactly nothing on the new firmware. I've got conflicting meetings today. What does that mean? Like the meetings themselves are in conflict? Okay, so yes, I actually think that you are correct that the power button doesn't do anything. I don't know why. That's a new one for me. Not too sure. It is a soft off, right? It was, at least. But, yeah, for some reason, it doesn't seem to do anything. So, we'll have to... So I can't hang out long. Oh, okay, I see. It used to turn the camera backwards, point it down, shut it off, at least the video input. Now it just blinks and does nothing. Yes. That is a change on the baseboard is what that is. Not too sure why. I'll need to reach out to my guys in China to find out what the story is there. So, to do that, let's try and see what we can come up with. Alright, so let's see. Alright, I'll send this over to my guy who is in the manufacturing realm, and we'll see what he says. So, that's for you, Beep Chirp. Come back next time and find out the answer. yoink. Sorry, just forwarding stuff to the help desk. All these months of doing support, and people still try and reach out to me at my work email. It's really weird. Why did this come directly to me? Yoink. Ow. Yeah, email me at my work email and see how far that gets you. Yeah, please don't. That's not cool. Well, actually, quite honestly, I don't really care. You're just not going to get support at my email. You'll get support at the support desk. That's where you get support. I have to like explain that to people. Fun stuff. Okay, so here's a little piece of news. Hey, how's it going, everybody? See a bunch of people there in the actual Twitch stream, so that's cool. Let me jump over here to Restream. Oh yeah, there's some people on Facebook as well, so hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. I will say that yesterday I took a little time and toured a couple of potential office spaces for the support team to move into. And so we are planning on expanding the support team in the US and around the world. And one of the things we're going to need, if you can't tell, I'm a little bit crowded here in the office. And part of it is just my unorganizedness. And part of it is there's nowhere else in my house to put all this stuff. And so it just kind of accumulates. And we need to probably find a place that we can organize it and take care of it. So the good news is that we've toured a couple of places. I'm reviewing those now with the owners. I'm getting emails from my realtor, and that's going well. So I'm pretty excited to potentially have that on the horizon and maybe moving into something early in the new year. So one of the big changes that's happening here is that we're going to set up a permanent support office for definitely for the US, but also for kind of like a home base for all of our support agents around the world. So really excited about that, hoping to be able to provide faster, better support as time goes along. And so that is underway right now. And so yesterday I toured a couple of places and was able to actually see the layouts and what they look like and how that all works. So pretty happy with that. Yeah, okay, I already knew all that. So yeah, that's on the horizon. The other thing is, on Tuesday I announced that our new support agent in Europe, who is hanging around, I think, on this stream for a little bit as he finishes out his workday, started on Tuesday. His name is Tim, and his primary focus in the very close future is going to be the support that is provided over in Europe and for most of Russia. And so we're pretty excited to have him on board. We're pretty happy to have some additional help, I'm thrilled. And so we're doing some training right now and just getting his feet wet in terms of the big product line that we carry. There's a lot of stuff to cover, and so we're spending time working with him to get him up to speed so that, as time goes along, he'll start answering tickets, and eventually we'll be able to start cutting down on our response time better than what we've been able to do so far. And so it kind of fluctuates with the time. In the summer and the early spring, we had a pretty good track record of closing things down in terms of support tickets and requests. That has gotten long in the tooth over the past few months, primarily because we've got several firmwares that were released, several new products that were released, and that doesn't stop the same questions that keep coming in about integration and all that sort of thing. So there not only was there an increase in tickets just because of the quantity in which we were selling, but also new products, new problems, new firmwares, that sort of stuff. So there's lots to look forward to. I think BirdDog's moving in a pretty exciting realm, and we're actually going to be starting conversations about AV integration, especially when wall plate hits the market, which is another new product that hasn't even been released yet. When we, get going down that realm, we will be busy. And so we're pretty excited to have Tim already on board. He is super sharp. I've been working with him for 3 days now, and he's already getting up to speed, so I'm very happy about that. Looking forward to doing some interviews here in the U.S. and getting somebody on board initially to handle the U.S. market, the tickets, and then I'm still overseeing global support, so anything kind of outside of those realms I'm handling initially until we kind of get that side covered as well. So lots of cool stuff happening here in support, a lot more than just answering tickets. Unfortunately, there's not really that many hours in the day, and so something's got to give, and so we're trying to do as much as we can to keep up with things, but bear with us. Better things are on the horizon, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I will mention, too, that our friend Beep Chirp has set up an unofficial Discord channel for BirdDog, and so this is not supported necessarily. It's called the unofficial unsupported... Hang on, I want to get it right. I don't want to butcher it now. I'll just open this up full screen. So it is... Oh, come on. Show me the name. It is the... Oh, yeah, okay. The unofficial unsupported BirdDog user group. And so this is not monitored by marketing, not monitored by the owners, not really even monitored by me. But I am a member there, and we will continue conversation. There it is right there officially. We will continue the conversation that we have here on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. If you have more additional conversations and questions that you want to talk about, hit us up over there under the general tab, and we can work with you. It's a good place for other BirdDog users to interact with other users, kind of like our user group on Facebook. That is users helping users initially. Hey, there it is. So the unofficial BirdDog Discord is now up and running and is administrated by our friend Beep Chirp. So kudos to him for getting that going, and we're really excited about having this as an option. So hit us up over there. That is the link. You are allowed to join for free. We do have a couple administrators, and so we'll try and keep the spam down to a minimum. But come hang out with us over there when you're not hanging out with us here on Twitch. So that's cool. We will see how it evolves in the next little while. All right, so the ticket count is still moving in a positive direction. Lots of people have questions. There's a fair bit of pre-sale stuff going on in terms of just people want to know about products, NDI Bridge and a few other things. So if you have questions about the product line, there is actually a channel you can talk to about features and things that are included in our gear. That is hello@bird-dog.tv. Those are our pre-sales guys, and they can help you figure out what product features are already there, and what options we kind of have. So if you want to talk about potentially buying new products, or if you want to work together a quote, or finding, making a connection in your region to finding a retailer or whatever, we can help you with that. But we do that over at hello@bird-dog.tv. Here, and at help@bird-dog.tv, we answer your support tickets for your existing products. So if you have a product and it's not doing what you think it should be doing, or you want to learn about how to use it a little bit better or that sort of thing, hit us up at help@bird-dog.tv and we can walk you through how to do that. Now, I will admit, from a support standpoint, that we try and be as efficient as we can and answer the questions. And there are lots of tickets out there and lots of questions that people are having. So we try not to be too short. But if you really want to talk through things, come hang out at Twitch, because I give a dedicated hour twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to really talk through things. And today we started at 11:05, so I'm going to go to 12:05. And be sure that at least we give you a full hour's worth of opportunity to just talk with me and let me know what you got going on. That reminds me. Where is it here? Oh, here we go. Whoop. Let me just check on one of these tickets here real quick. Okay. Just had to remember what it was that I was planning on doing right after the show. And it's not a Zoom meeting. Thankfully, I've got 3 others scheduled for today. But right now, it's the next thing is not an official Zoom meeting. So good news there. All right. Got to try and keep my schedule organized. I actually enjoy being organized, although you wouldn't know it. I'm going to work on this too, folks. Hold me accountable. I'll get things cleared up. You actually get better support out of me if this office is clean, so that may be something that you want to... looks plenty organized. Oh dear. That's not good. That's the blind leading the blind is what that is. Whoa. Somebody just sent me a giant email of things. Oh boy. Whew. All right, let's forward this on. Again, people emailing me directly. I miss these things, like I miss these emails because I'm not staring at my email all day. If you send me an email, understand that it may not be read for 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to forward this to the help desk, and now someone will see it. Yoink. I know it seems crazy that you should be able to just email the tech support directly, and that will be able to respond right away, but although I have 3 screens, 3 27-inch screens, they are primarily, 2 of them are testing products and trying things out and sorting out issues, and one of them is looking at the ticket for which the issue is. And so I have this much real estate because I'm trying to handle things inside Studio Monitor, Access Manager. All of our BirdDog products take up full screen, so I need one of those. You should try to upgrade a pair of Samsung Odyssey G9s. Why? What's the story there? Odyssey G9 mega sale. Oh my goodness. Upgrade. I see. Not update. Upgrade. The craziest gaming monitor yet. The Odyssey G9. Oh yeah, sure. I'll grab a couple of those. No problem. I'm sure my budget will not have a heart attack. How much is it? Odyssey G9. Oh, okay. Staples has them on sale for $1,700. This one, Samsung CHG90, $800. Is that the same one though? Odyssey G9, $1,900. Acer has a 49-inch monitor for $700. These monitors are 144 hertz, and so they're really great with like gaming specs and whatever. And then I have a couple of halfway decent GPUs that are SLI bridged together. So 1700 is not on sale. What's this monitor's? Oh, 240. Wow. At 240, can you differentiate the difference between 144 and 240? I thought Linus said that wasn't possible. Oh. Do side-by-side displays? Wow. That's impressive. What am I running? 27 times 3? Wait. I have 81 inches of real estate. So, yeah, that would be impressive. 49, you're running pretty much 100 inches of real estate. 98. Bug Zeke! Have we found any issues with the Mini yet that we sent you? I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to have to look up that ticket. Past 48 hours has been a blur. Yeah, actually it's right here. This is yours. I think... Oops, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I can test this, actually. Retest this right now. Pretty sure, actually, I had it working. Maybe not. Come on. Let's go here. There we go. Alright, so I'll get you on a P200. I'll get you HDMI. Let's do this right now. While you have me captive, and I'm not looking at 300 tickets. There we go. P200, HDMI. I wonder. Hang on. How's it going, Bugsy? Thanks for stopping by. I know you're really stopping by because you want to find out what's going on with your Mini. But that's okay. Shows that it's loaded. I ran the new update for the P200, and since the update, vMix is not holding the zoom on any shots. What do you mean holding the zoom? I don't have vMix, so you're gonna have to educate me a bit on how it works. It will move to the angle, but it will either not zoom in or will zoom in too far. Any ideas here? Well, we didn't change the protocol for the zoom. No, there's nothing that changes in that NDI. You're connecting this with the Sony Visca IP protocol in vMix? I don't think they do the NDI one. Alright, come on here, network. No, don't update it yet. Yeah, the flip the flip and the coloration thing is still outstanding, so don't update it. Just wait. They have it on they actually have the beta on the test bench, and they're gonna end up fixing it. All right, camera 1, you've been assigned 1.50. So jump into here to the mini. Oops, spelled that wrong. And open up Studio Monitor. Of course. Thanks for stopping by. And you can absolutely ask product questions. Whoa. Oh, yeah. That mini is fully functional. Alright, so Bugsy, this is yours. Let's take a quick look here. Alright, so if I put it in decode mode, does the BirdDog logo show up? That's your first question. So, here we go. Device settings, decode. Hit OK. It's recommended that you reboot. Will do. You're right, there is no guarantee on answers. For sure. Or maybe there's no guarantee on answers that you might really like, but I will try to answer it. I'm not too sure. Not too sure if that's what you're going for, but... Oh, so now I need to put this on a monitor, eh? Where's my Atmos here? Here we go! Let's turn this camera off. This is serving no purpose right now. Alright, so fire up a backpack, and I'm going to plug in the HDMI to the backpack. And we're going to fire up the Ninja. Yoink. And let's just put this in here. Yes, so when I change it to decode mode, right away, the BirdDog Mini symbol shows up. This is for Beep Chirp, by the way. I'm working on a unit that he has sitting here. I have a meeting I have to pay attention to. Okay. Do you have any data on glass-to-glass latency? Glass-to-glass? Using the P200 to P4K and the flex out. Okay. So, excuse me. This question is one of those things that I can tell you I can give you kind of a range, kind of, but it's highly dependent on a lot of things. So if you're using the NDI protocol, for example, it's dependent on your NDI network configuration. It's dependent on what else is going on. Depends if it's isolated. Depends if it's what protocol it's running. If you're doing TCP, UDP. Depends what resolution you're running. Depends on, like, there's obviously processing time from lens to board and board to port. So like there's not even a couple frames. It's really fast, but the from SDI out on the P200 and NDI out, there's a 1 frame latency. From decode, depending on how you're decoding it, they add latency. So vMix is a software version that has its own decoding process, and there's latency added there. TriCaster uses a different decoding process, and so there's latency. There's a different latency value for that program or that product. BirdDog Minis and Studios in decode mode add 1 frame to the decode, so the NDI gets encoded. The full NDI gets encoded, whether that's on a computer or on a Flex or a P4K or P200. Comes out at whatever latency that is and hits the decoder, adds a frame to decode it and get it onto the screen. monitors, cheap monitors, good monitors, broadcast monitors, all of those, ninjas, confidence monitors, all this stuff, they all have different latency variables. So to say glass to glass is pretty impossible, because there's no way I'm going to know everything that's in your system. We can generalize. We can tell you what's expected out of the BirdDog stuff, and that's one frame over the SDI image. From glass to SDI, each camera is different. They're all manufactured and they process information different. All the boards are programmed different. They're all usually Linux based, and so it's a pretty big, pretty big issue. The vMix zoom issue? Oh yeah, we got to get back to that. So there are lots of issues going on where, like, lots of things that can introduce latency, and we, in order to really get a good grasp on like what is the expected latency from glass to glass, really depends on all of those third-party products that we don't control. Do you think it's my network? Well, I don't know, Bugzeek. I have it on the latest firmware, and we are running. The decode shows up. I'll change it back to encode. Put the P200 back on. And we'll jump back into the mini. Not now. AV decode to encode. Say OK. See if it switches out. It says it recommends a reboot, but let's just see if it'll do it. Probably won't. There it goes. Oh! No, it did it all by itself. And there it is. So, yeah, this mini is functional. Let me look specifically at the problems that you've outlined here. So, yeah, that question in terms of like how much latency from glass to glass, that is a test based on your own personal environment. That's not necessarily a test based on the cameras and how you're transmitting that data. So, I can't really give you a number because I just don't know. There's too many variables. I can tell you that based on the SDI output, which is the standard for cameras, like that's the zero, that's usually where you benchmark the zero latency. It's one additional frame on top of that for NDI, and then it's an additional frame to decode it with the BirdDog unit. vMix, again, decodes on its own. TriCaster does its own thing. Wirecast does its own thing, so you'll have to consult with them as to like how much latency gets added to an NDI stream when I bring in a source, a full NDI source from my network. Well, what about the P4K and flex out over NDI at 4K? Yeah, I believe the standard right now is still one frame, or like 1.5, but the difference of that is like 1080p is like what, 30 milliseconds or something like that. So Beep Chirp, you gotta schedule this as a meeting. He can't probably hear me. I mean, obviously, here's the deal. Here's really what full NDI is. Full NDI is not a clock rate. It's not like your full NDI if you hit one frame. That's not the benchmark. The benchmark is full NDI is the closest we can get with the NDI protocol to the SDI standard. Okay? That's a different thing. Is we have a standard with the SDI stuff that people have been using for 50 years. NDI is the fastest network protocol that you can get right now today. Full NDI is the fastest network protocol you can get closest to NDI, closest to SDI. So that's the comparison. And so again, pretty heavy on latency, but Phil, latency can be really low if set correctly. Customers use them in live environments. One example in UK based Customer who streaming live operas at the same time, 90-piece orchestra, split over 4 rooms. Yes, this is all very true. Can you tell me who this is? P100's happy in VMix, not P200. Well, there is something I can do about that. I can reach out to the engineers and let them know what both of you have found. My QA guy will be back tomorrow. He's been out for a few days, so that's exciting that he'll be online and we'll be able to kind of address some of this stuff tonight when I'm going to bed. What do we say? The vMix zoom function Sony Visca IP is not, what did you say, recalling? Is that what you said? Since the update, vMix is not holding the zoom. Hey, Diggory, can you expand on that? Not holding the zoom, what do you mean by that? When you recall a preset? When you move it manually? When you set it to a position, does it just shift on its own? What's going on there? It will move to the angle, but then it will either not zoom in or will zoom in too far. Any idea? So is this preset... Are you talking about presets? Or Sherman, are you talking about presets here? What are you talking about virtual inputs? Are you not adding these as NDI sources? Okay, well that's beyond my measure. I have a copy of vMix I don't use because my dual GPUs screw with it. But let's jump in here and have a little education. Oops. vMix has a virtual input that is a reference for the NDI with a recall inside vMix oh my gosh. vMix PTZ position presets. It's in vMix. You add them as NDI sources, and then you frame the shot and you set as a virtual input. This is with a PTZ camera? Okay, question. Legit production question. Why? Why would you just use the PTZ and put it in the position you want and save the preset? I don't understand why would you would use a virtual one. All right. I mean, I believe you. Oh, whoops. Delete this. Oh, and now she's freaking out because she doesn't like. Not a huge vMix user. Come on. Jeez. I can see all my shots at once. I mean, I'm not saying whether it's good or bad. I'm asking... Hang on. Close. Good golly, vMix. I get so frustrated with this program. doesn't actually see my P200. Come on. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because my P200 is currently set to Discovery Server. Ugh. There we go. I'm gonna have to actually do this, like see what it is that you guys are up to, because it sounds like a lot of work. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a lot of work. Alright, there's my camera. Come on. Reboot. Here we go. So, does it crop the image? I'm just trying to figure out how the virtual input works. Oh, you said it just saves the location, so it does actually move the head of the camera into that position? Oh, okay. So instead of just knowing your preset positions, it's like taking a picture of each of them. Knudsen Cam. Okay. So this is a vMix feature, is what you're saying. You're saying you want me to fix a vMix feature. That it was working before and now it's not working because of some reason. And let me guess, somebody reached out to vMix and they told you it was a BirdDog problem. $10. Somebody bet me right now and then contact vMix and let's see what they say. $10, that's what they said to you. Looks to be a BirdDog problem. Not my problem. I don't care if our users have a good experience. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know those guys. I don't work with them. Who took me up on that bet? It's only since the newest firmware. Yeah, well. Of course. You know what? Just don't use vMix anymore. That would be... Well, anyway. Okay. Alright. I'm not bitter. Alright, let's figure out what these virtual inputs are. Create a virtual input. Okay. Automatically mix, play with transitions, restart with transition, pause with transmission. Cool. That's, whoa! Wait, what? Beep chirp. What should I use? Not a software version of a production program. I know that's not possible for some people. It's just me. I don't prefer it, but it's a fine program. And we have friends at vMix. The BirdDog owners know them pretty well. So I do find it weird that a program like this doesn't run with dual GPUs. Like what gives, man? Come on. I added processing power and now it's like wigging out. That's lame. Okay, so there's a virtual input. And now what? What do I do? Do I move it do I set it with the studio monitor and I create another virtual input? Is that what I do? Nope. That is not what I just did. Okay, so I'm doing that wrong. Apparently. Okay, so wait. Oh. I get it. No, wait. Do I actually get it? I don't think I get it. Let's do this. Oh. Create virtual input. This is not doing anything. If you click on create virtual input, it should do whatever it is. It's just creating the same picture on every single one. I don't understand what it is that I'm doing here. This is terrible, guys. Sorry. PTZ tab of the original NDI input. Yeah? That's where I'm at. PTZ. Sony Visca. It's 1.13, I think. Oh, create input at this position. Okay, there. Now it's doing it. Okay, okay. Oh wait, no, it didn't. It just changed it. Okay, so I have one shot here. Now we'll go to vMix and we'll open the PTZ menu for jeez. Okay, so the enter button doesn't work. Update input 2. Okay, what about... That's weird. Create an input at this position. Why does no, input 2 is showing the same thing as input 3. I don't understand what the point of that is. There. Okay, input 3 is staying. Update input 2. Create input. Nope, input 2 just switched to input 4. Oh, if I click always show thumbnail. Okay, then it goes back. So, now, recall. Okay, cool, thanks. Close. Fade. So what's the problem you're having? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I see it doing that now. And when you click through the inputs, it moves them. It moves the camera to that position. Yeah, okay. That's cool. I could understand an application for that. It's not crazy. So the zoom doesn't properly recall, so now I gotta create another input. Oops. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now zoom into this light bulb and let's say create an input. Alright, so here we go. Okay, that one worked. The zoom out works. Okay, we zoomed in there. Zoomed out here. Okay, zoom back in. That worked. Zoom out. Good. Yep. 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 Okay, so what do I have to do to get this thing to fail? Because right now it's working just fine. Like, here. You're gonna see all the glitchy of vMix, but this is because I have dual GPUs apparently. This is what they told me. So, this is the movement. Zooms in. Zooms out. Let's zoom back in. Let's zoom out to this one. Maybe try a third zoom level. So like lower this, you mean, and move the position, and here, let's go over here, take a look at this. Here, we'll like really like move around. Let's zoom right in. Whoops, come on. Okay. Create this input. Alright, so now let's move back to how many of these inputs are you guys running? I mean, it's slow, but you are zoomed all the way in, so the pan is going to be slow, right? If you zoom out, it speeds up the pan tilt motor, so then when you zoom in again, it gets to the position first and then zooms in quickly. But yeah, outside of that, I don't see this not working. 4 positions, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I don't know, guys. I feel like this is pretty peppy. This one... Oh no, this one's on 3.3. Interesting. Yeah, so this would work because this is the previous firmware. This is the downgrade model. Okay. No. Open the zip file. Hang on. I'll get her updated. Send that to the firmware team anyways, while I try and sort it out on my side. Whoops. Ah! Alright. Keep shooting past. Alright, here we go. Get this thing updated. I just tuned in to see how far down the rabbit hole we can get you to go. You will not get me down the vMix rabbit hole. I'll guarantee that. I'll use OBS before I use vMix. I made a ticket just now for my issue. BirdDogCom's having a whining sound I emailed you about. You work with comms often? Well, I'm the only support guy, so I don't know what you mean by often, but it comes up every now and then. Thanks for playing. Or is there someone here I can chat with on comms? I'm the only support guy right now, so you're going to chat with me or nobody. You've submitted a ticket, you said? Well, let's fire up the help desk. Let's see what you said. Running 364 in my studio's Rev 4s. When in encoding mode, there is a very annoying high-pitched whine, audible when the director talks to the units. Tried every troubleshooting step on the Windows side, running the Comms Pro software until I find out that the sound is normal when the NDI Studio runs in decode mode. Flickering back and forth between modes, you immediately hear the difference. No restart in the units. You're using decoders for comms? You might be the first. No restart on the units or comms pro required. I use the knowledge database page for all the Google Drive links to roll back to 3.4 that apparently doesn't have this issue, so mostly sure it's a firmware related. Not necessarily. Could be a power issue. However, I can't tell you which version the error has creeped in, as the only version I can roll back to is 3.4. Hoping you can confirm this behavior and find a fix. Yeah, it could be a bunch of things. I'm not a programmer, so I can report this to the comms guy, but I'll have to probably test it out and see what we come up with. I'll have to fire up comms after I use vMix, though, because vMix is heavy on the... It's an option to use, yeah. It's an option to use comms while in decode mode, and then there's no... Are you just using it for comms, or are you actually decoding something? But when you put it in encode mode, there's a whine. On studios, there's two things. The whine is usually, on most units, can be that the audio input on the actual unit is set too high. Depending on the type of microphone you have, and it should probably be a powered mic in some regards, but depending on the type of microphone you're using for the comm stuff, for example, the old BirdDog headsets that we used to have had a battery in them. They powered the microphone so that you didn't need to use so much gain, because the artificial gain amplifies all of the dirty power or whatever. So if the network's not grounded or grounded correctly, if it's a bad switch, if the switch is low grade, if it's, like a bunch of things can cause whine. In particular, the PoE units, like if they're being underpowered or if they're being delivered inconsistent power, they can cause a whine because they're trying to regulate the actual power inside the NIC card. So I wonder, like if you plug them into the DC units that came with the studios, if the whine goes away. Because if it does, then it probably means that we have a switch that's not providing clean power, or non-grounded unit, or something in the chain is non-grounded, or like the lights in the room are wired to the plugs on the wall, and that can generate a whine. Yeah, it could be a lot of things. So typically with whining electronics in particular, that's one of the major things that come up is, the computer's plugged into a port on the wall, or it's maybe it's a laptop, it's running off a battery. All these sorts of things will deregulate the power. And actually, if it's plugged into a wall that the lights are tied into the same system, or if it's just dirty power and it's not actually in, here in the States it's 15 amps, but in most places it's 20. But if it's not just like a clean 15 amp on a breaker, other dirty power can pollute the actual unit itself, and that comes through audibly because of the way that power is regulated in a unit like these guys, which end up inside. They have their own, this is a mini, and they have inside their own way of regulating power and bringing down the amperage to what it is that they require. And that can fluctuate a little bit, but if it's being overpowered, underpowered, if it's being a handful of things, and perhaps it's drawing too much power now because of feature set in the new firmware. So yeah, it could be a firmware issue with the latest update. It could be, it could be a handful of things. It would be pretty hard to diagnose that here on the Twitch channel, but I can certainly test it. Try and see if I can replicate the issue. Well, this is interesting. My BirdDog did not update. What happened there? Alright, so now that screen is paused. Weird. Yeah, it could be an amperage thing, like there may be a... I don't know. I'm not confirmed, but like the new encode might draw more wattage. I don't know. But yeah, I got a mini that's on the latest firmware right now, which is actually Bugzeek's, which is fully functional, from what I can tell. So if that's the case, then fire up comms on it and see what happens. Congratulations, your firmware is now up to date. Now rebooting. Okay, now the camera's online. Alright, so I probably need to resave these. Doesn't fire right away. That's weird. I mean, I noticed that with the other one. I probably need to reconnect all this stuff, eh? Alright, so let's start over. This guy's here. Something is going on here with vMix. It's like freaking out. Like, we didn't change the Visca protocol, guys. Not to my knowledge. I wonder if this has to do with the sync stuff. Excuse me. Alrighty. No. Oh, hold the phone. Baseboard. Apparently I gotta redo the baseboard now. Get back to this firmware. Okay, here we go. And that would be why. Lose all control. Alright, let's have a little peek at the firmware. There it is. Are you sure you want to delete this file? Yes, I'm sure. Alright. How's it going, everybody? There's a whole bunch of you guys in here right now. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. You are watching me monkey around with firmware from a previous life. And where's the baseboard firmware? There it is. Extract. Here we go! And vMix. Yeah, well. My true colors are coming out with the vMix stuff. Bop-a-doo! Here we go! Fire it up! Yeah, sometimes I wonder about the old firmware not having issues and the new one having issues. It's like you enable one feature and you make two problems, right? And then you fix one problem and you make two more. It's like a Hydra, where you just you're constantly cutting off the heads of the dragons and there's like 7 more that pop up. All right, little P200. What do you get? What are you doing here? Oh, barrel. Goodness, that's noisy. Audio, silent. Alrighty, so. What do I have? Do I have live video? Yeah, okay. So let's close this one and open this one. Let's zoom out. Yay, control. So that's what you're talking about? No. There will not. Not to my knowledge, there won't be. Judson? There's a guy I haven't spoken to in a while. Which is good and bad. I like Judson. Four positions, right? That's what you said? Alrighty. Whoops. He wants to hear about the Mini. I thought I was done talking about the Mini. I got nothing more to say about the Mini. What are you talking about? Yeah, so this isn't recalling these settings the same way. For sure. So, we were able to actually do it with the studio, the encode decode simultaneous thing. The problem was that there was some error with the way that we were trying to encode the the receive side, so the decode signal, and we couldn't get it to be clean. It kept dropping frames even when you weren't encoding something, even when you're just using DIP for decode only. The simultaneous thing ended up causing an error on both. And so you can't have that. Like, you can't have a production piece that is dropping frames on the decode, because that would be an issue. Hey! Thanks for following, Diggory. Appreciate that. Where's my little, here's my little celebration sound for you. Appreciate that. Hopefully you heard that. Is the virtual cable... Quincy! What's going on, Judson? Awesome. That was for you. Appreciate you following. Thanks a lot. So, in regards to the... yeah, the dual encode, or the encode-decode thing, it wasn't clean, and there's the off chance that we might get a guy that could figure it out, but really, the reality is that it just can't... The way we had written the program to do it just wasn't doing it. And so we're working on getting it right in the quad first, and then figuring out what that looks like for the rest of our product line. I'm not going to say any of the other products except quad are going to have this. What's going on, Judson? Thanks, man. Also for you. Appreciate that. So I'm not going to say we're going to implement it or anything, because I don't think it's on the roadmap, but right now, the feature set is encode or decode mode, not encode and decode mode. So it just ended up being that way. This second and third preset are wrong. Let's go here. Okay. Well, I can see the issue. I mean, it presents itself. So, you guys have ticket numbers on this? Yeah. All right. I can confirm that that is exactly what it's doing. So, now that I understand why you would want a virtual input, but also seeing the effect, yes, we can sort something out there. Which firmware is this exactly? 3373. Ticket number 4501. Let's pull it up. 4501. That's perfect. I appreciate that. We will get that over into the hands of the guys who can change the code to do something about it. Hopefully they'll catch it before they release the next firmware. Okay, so Judson, Bugzeek, this mini that was sent to me, hey, you're welcome. That's the purpose of this show, is to get communication, and you can walk me through what the error is and I can try and replicate it if I can. Then that we can speculate that there might be a bug that we need to investigate a little bit and see if the engineers can come up with something. But I need to be able to do it myself before I can validate it going that high up into the dev team. So my man in Australia will be back tomorrow morning, which is our tonight, and hopefully they'll be able to give us a hand. How's it going, everybody? Should take a peek at who's hanging out in here. Okay, so Judson and Bugzeek, we have ticket 3902, and the issues that you guys reported was that you're sending me cam 1, 3 cameras, 3 projectors. Even the ones that are doing the decodes on our projectors didn't work until we installed 363. We played with them a bit, and when it did happen, we found a solution that kind of works, is to close the Wirecast and open it and then sync back up to the cameras. It doesn't explain why the projector's not working. When that's looking at the ProPresenter setup, our ProPresenter setup is a Mac Mini, has ProPresenter, and we have 4 sources of NDI out of it. Ooh. Can your Mini handle 4 NDI sources on ProPresenter 7? That's got to be like 80% of your CPU right there. Two of them are to Wirecast. One of them goes to the screen, and an alpha key for words. HDMI to the monitor that shows stage display and the NDI on stage display for me on my sound computer, so I can keep track of the timers when I need to play the videos. The first NDI main source is what the minis are looking for when we boot everything up from ProPresenter. After we reinstall the firmware, they held perfectly throughout the night. Still having a weird connection issue with drop off. Only fix for all 6 is to keep it alive or anything to reinstall the firmware. Yeah. Alright, goodbye vMix. Let's look and see if camera 1 is still functional. That is a live picture. So there's no issue on the encode side here with this guy. You're running 363, which I haven't changed. Why do you need 4? So he says he's got 4 sources on ProPresenter, and the 4 sources are 2 of them are to Wirecast. 1 is going to the screens, and an alpha key for words. Yeah. Are any of them the same, though? Like, can you not repeat the same NDI stream and decode it twice? 2 of the... What's going to Wirecast? What 2 are going to Wirecast? And... the lower thirds I understand, and for words and lyrics without the slides. And... 1 going to the screens. What's going to Wirecast? What 2 sources are going to Wirecast differently than what's going to the screens? Okay, here's a question. Have you turned off your wireless on your ProPresenter machine? Have you disconnected the wireless from your NDI network? I had this problem at my congregation. I'm assuming you mean you have. Okay. Are you using multiple NIC connections on any of these machines? More than one network coming into the iMac, or more than one network coming into something else? Oh yes. Actually, wireless is a big no-no for NDI. Okay, no multiple NICs. Here's the thing about troubleshooting is to have one unit that's causing issues and like it's not talking correctly to the network and stuff, that's common. You know, that's just the nature of technology. But if you have multiple units that are all behaving the same way, there's a root cause, usually. And so it's very rare. For example, you have several minis. For one of them to have a problem, you know, okay, that's maybe like, there might be, honestly, it's less than 1% for us. So then you have 2, well, that's less than 1% of 1%, right? So then if you have 4 or 6, that number is very, very tiny. It's incredibly rare that there would be a malfunction on all of them that's behaving the same and at the same time. Obviously, then there's some sort of issue with, you know, there's a fault somewhere, either network-wise or maybe there's some sort of packet shaping going on, maybe some QoS, maybe there's, you know, all sorts of things that can cause this. It'd just be a bad NIC card on a computer. Or, you know, it can be a mix of switches and networking gear. Like if you have a Ubiquiti gateway, but you have a Netgear or a Cisco switch, that can be a problem. Just trying to throw ideas out there as to what it might be. Dante's on a separate NIC. It's on a separate network? Like totally? Okay, so then do you just send the full screen that's going to Wirecast and the same full screen NDI stream to the screens? I would assume that's what's going on here. It's a VLAN. Oh, okay. I have to go now, but this was really interesting, and thanks for helping out with the question. You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Appreciate that. I'm going to have to wrap it up too, but I want to work with Bugsy and Judson for a few more minutes. Yeah, there's like, what sort of like sophistication are we dealing with here? In terms of like switches and brands and stuff like that. If it's Ubiquiti, have you turned off network optimization? I'm sure I've probably asked you that already. Yeah, so the coloration, I haven't done anything on my P200 here, but like this is the Discord, by the way. If you want to join us on Discord, come hang out. Users helping users. So this is the Mini. This is what I'm looking at right here. Okay, it's on my P200 HDMI out. Hasn't really missed a beat yet in terms of functionality and stuff. So this is cam 1. This is the actual PTZ control. What? Okay. What? You ever notice when you do this, you open 2 instances of Studio Monitor, one is full screen and one is not? Like one is full window? It's weird. Anyway. Yeah, there's nothing, there's no error here in terms of it being usable. The unit itself is working, so there's something else going on here. Wait. Are these Gen 2 switches? Let me know if they're Gen 2 switches, because do they have a little black LED or LCD screen on the front, or do they have just a ubiquity? Actually, here I can probably show you. These are Gen 1s right here, and they have this little clear, or this little solid symbol. Gen 2s have a black LCD right here. You think the Pro switches are what? Gen 2? I had a guy call me and he told me how he had to throw away all the Gen 2 Unify stuff that he had because it wasn't playing nice on NDI. And the reason was that because Unify has changed the way that they're processing data. They switched from a hardware to a software process, and the software keeps backing up in terms of like processing data. It's not fast enough. It seems weird to me that the Gen 2s wouldn't be faster than the Gen 1s. But I don't have Gen 2s here, so I cannot verify this. This is just anecdotal conversation I had with a guy who does it for a living. And he just said, I just stopped. He's like, the Gen 2s, I don't use them. Because they can't, even for other AV installations, not just NDI, but audio, live audio, and a bunch of other things. He said, we had to get rid of them. Not saying you have to, but I'm saying I've heard that there's something going on there that needs to be attended to in order to get it to work correctly. So, I don't know what that means. I mean, if you have one Gen 1 and one Gen 2, just try and run a test and take the Gen 2 off and put everything on Gen 1 and just see how it goes. We are using all Gen 2 at Pursuit. Gen 1 has a little, just a Unify symbol on the front. Gen 2 has a little LCD screen that gives you like live stats. How's it going, MTash? Welcome back. All right. Well, gentlemen, there is nothing that I can detect wrong with this Mini, so I'd like to get it back into your possession if possible. I will update the ticket so that you get a updated email. You guys could let me know where to ship it. That would be amazing. No, don't use static IPs. Don't do that. It's not simpler to use static IPs, it's more complex. So, don't do that. Yeah, don't the static option on the units are tailored more for sophisticated networks that are handling things like Discovery Service and a few other things. Most users need to be planning on a DHCP network that can hand out IPs or that you can set to static through the DHCP reservation list. Outside of that, we need to pretty much use the units as they're designed and not try and set everything to manual. Everybody loves to just put everything in manual, and there's a very specific way you have to do it. So it looks like we have a big order about to hit for a school. Oh, nice. That's fun. Guinea pig time for Jake's house church. We'll sort this out. Hopefully it's something simple like the Switch or whatever. We can sort that out. Okay, guys, I am going to jet because I got a 1 o'clock meeting and I haven't really eaten much today, and I need to get some coffee before the next Zoom meeting. So, thank you so much for joining us this week. I really appreciate it. Please follow the channel if you haven't already, but most of you have, and I really appreciate that too. Super excited about Tim being online with us. He's over in the UK. It's his nighttime now, so he's going to sign off. But in general, we're trying to get things. Hey, thanks for... Here you go. That's for you. We really... we're trying to get things in a better shape so that we can service and support you guys a little bit quicker, a little more efficiently, and it's not just all coming into this office at this computer. So, really looking forward to that. We're expanding. We're growing like crazy. Because guys like Judson who are making these enormous sales. And so we're looking forward to it. Can't wait to bring more people into the NDI world. We're going to be making a lot more tutorials and videos and how-tos and guidelines and all that stuff in 2021. And so really look forward to us taking that to the next level. And, you know, hopefully we can produce some stuff so that you guys can really get off the ground, make your sales, integrate quickly, and send your invoices. So hope you're doing well. Have a great weekend. Have a great end of the week. We are officially pretty much there. Another half a day here and one more day tomorrow. And we will officially be at the weekend. And we're only like, what, 3 weeks away from Christmas. So hang on. December's going to go quick. Otherwise, I'm planning on being here on Tuesday at 11 a.m. So hit me up. Come hang out. Come ask your questions. Write them down. Send me an email if you don't want to wait. But if you want to wait and you want to chat in live here, give me write down your questions and we'll see you on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy. Peace out.